So in this demo, we would be working on deployment of Apache Spark 1.3 on an Azure Linux virtual machine. And for this demo, we would be using an CentOS 6.5 64-bit Linux cluster on Microsoft Azure Data Center, which is already in the running state. So here goes the VM, which is already running. And the steps for this demo would be, first of all, create an Azure Linux VM. You can choose either an Ubuntu or CentOS based VM. And the next step, go ahead and install JDK. It's recommended that you should go ahead with installations of JDK 8. Otherwise, if you have already installed JDK 7 for this installation, that's also fine. But JDK 8 has already got the recent updates regarding Java Lambda expressions and all, so it would be one of the recommended one if you are planning to deploy Spark 1.3. After that, we need to deploy Scala. So for Spark version 1.3, you would be deploying Scala 2.11.0, and next we would be starting the Scala shell, and after that we need to download Apache Spark, and after downloading we need to extract it and build it using the build tool, that's SBT. And once we have built it, we can start working with Spark shell. So just go ahead and start Spark shell. And of course, you can go with a sample example with Scala or Python. But this entire demo would be performed on an Azure Linux virtual machine, and this virtual machine is basically, it's a 64-bit CentOS cluster which is having already, it's an A5 VM which is having 28 gigs RAM, and apart from that, it's already having 8-core CPU. So it's a little bit high-ended configuration VM because of the easy deployment of the most latest edition of Spark. So let me go ahead. I'm already connected with this VM which is running in Microsoft Azure Data Center. So currently this VM is empty, and I would go with the steps one by one. So in the first step, what I will do, for running Spark in Linux machine, we need to first install Java. So this following command would go ahead and install Java. So we can start with yum So here, this VM is actually being consists of the Ubuntu server 15.04, one of the latest package, and alternatively you can of course continue with CentOS 7 or RHEL 7 version of the cluster. And after that, we need to take an update. And once the update has been taken out, then go ahead and install Oracle Jdk. So alternatively, you can of course go ahead and install Openjdk. We are taking Oracle Java 8. Alright, so Java has been installed, and we could be able to check the installed edition of Java. That's 1.8 and subversion 4.5. It shows the installed Java version. In the next step is to install Scala. So we need to follow up some instructions to set up Scala. So first of all, let's download a stable release of Scala from Scala's website. That's scalalange.org. So here goes the standard website for Scala, and we are interested to download one of the most latest stable edition. So you'd be downloading it from scalalange.org. We'll download the files, then archive, then Scala 2.11.o.tgz, and let's download it quickly. And once Scala has been downloaded, let's go ahead and make a local directory in name of Scala. So I am making as user local Scala, and once you have made it, let's go ahead and extract the downloaded Scala package, Scala 2.11.o.tgz. Once you have completed the extraction, just move it to the local directory what you have created so far. So just write Scala 2.11.o to user local Scala. So after this, to bash rc, and inside bash rc, just add the required variables for Spark and Scala. So just add export Scala home as user local Scala, and export the path as well. Just type Scala _home /bin :path. That's all. And alternatively, if you want to add the Java path, so you can of course add this, and you can check the default location of Java home as update alternatives command. Just type update alternatives config Java, and once you have done that, you'd be able to see the default location of JDK. And open bash rc and paste the Java home path, but that's optional. It's not mandatory one. That's all for Scala installation. So right now, if you are interested to check the installed edition of Scala, so you need to apply the settings in bash rc after making the changes. So what you can do is next just type version, install version of Scala. See. Just need to make a little bit change. Apply the settings. Once you have done that, you can check the version of installed Scala version, and of course you can go ahead and start the Scala shell just by typing Scala. So it goes to directly to the Scala interactive shell, and so in the next step what we need to do is basically we also need to make sure that Maven is being installed, because for building out Spark using simple build tool, it's mandatory that in the cluster you have Maven being installed. So just can go ahead and install Maven as well. So I'm just typing sudo apt-get install Maven. So this command would go ahead and install Maven. So before building out Spark, just make sure that you have Maven being installed. Alright, so Maven has installed. So for installation of Spark, one of the prerequisite is to install Git. So because Spark build depends Git, so we can alternatively install Git as well. Right. Next step is basically to download the latest Spark build, and we can download it from a standard Apache Software Foundation mirror. So what you can do is basically we can take out the mirror, any of the standard mirror, choosing Spark, and I'm taking one of the latest edition of Spark that's being released just in last April, Spark 1.3.1, and let me download the TGZ version, Spark 1.3.1.tgz. so I can write So once you have downloaded Spark, let's in the next step you can go ahead and extract this package. So just type the extraction command and then just type the file name. And once you do so, next you are good to go to build the Spark libraries and assemblies. So what you can do is right now you can go ahead and build using SBT, which is a simple build tool which is used for building the Spark and which is bundled with it. So to compile the code, we need to write sudo sbt/sbt. Before that, just make sure you have proper permission is being there. So just keep the permissions over there. Now, to build the Spark libraries, you can type sbt to build it, and then you can write assembly. So it would go ahead and build the Spark tool, but make sure before you are proceeding with this step, you have Jdk, Maven, and Scala. Both of these three prerequisites is being installed, and of course you have sufficient memory is being available on the VM or on the node where Spark is being building, because minimum recommended VM the memory settings for Spark building purpose is 2048 MBs. Memory is being, it's one of the recommended one. I mean, it's mandatory to have. Recommended of course is around 4096 MBs of memory is being needed. But for this VM, since it's a cloud based, we have provided sufficient capacity in configuration size. It's an A5 typed VM in Azure virtual machines, Linux virtual machines, which having 28 gigs memory and 8-core CPU it's been running. It would take a couple of minutes to build the Spark package for the first time, and once the Spark build is being happened, next time onwards, we don't need to build it again and again. We can just go ahead and start work on this.